So you go outside, take tons of photos for astrophotography, only to find out that your photos, well, were a complete waste of time. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that and some good tips to make you a better astrophotographer. The first tip is something I struggle with as an early astrophotographer, which is mostly to view your images as masterpieces, meaning like, let's say you have an image and it's a picture of a galaxy, right? And you want to zoom really far down into the galaxy. Well, this is mainly due because the whole image is a huge image and it literally has like all sorts of stuff in it, but the only thing you want to focus on is the galaxy, right? So you crop it in all the way to the galaxy, which this is not going to look very good because it's going to be very blurry because your camera is only a certain pixel by pixels wide. So, you know, it's going to be very cropped in. You're going to have a really low resolution now, and all this sorts of problems that you're going to get, artifacts, whatever, you can notice them better. So that's the problem with cropping your images. So what I would say to do is view it like a masterpiece, only crop when necessary, and definitely view your images like something that needs to be professionally done. Like, use very subtle edits as well. That's kind of tip 2. Use very subtle edits. Don't over edit your images, especially. Because if you keep editing and editing and editing, oh, I need changes, I need to bump up clarity, I need to bump up texture, it's just gonna look like not natural anymore. Not just that, it's also gonna look very weird. And that tends to be what makes images look like this. And this is the reason why I started viewing my images as masterpieces and also not over editing my images. Tip number 3 is to start simple. Now I know this kind of contradicts what others would say, but really, why invest in a hobby when you're brand new? Why invest thousands of dollars in a brand new hobby when you don't even know if you're gonna go for it long term? Now, I know you might be thinking, well, yeah, but I already know I'm gonna go for it long term. Well, that's not the only reason that I'm suggesting that you start simple. It's also because you need to be able to learn how to do this hobby with the gear you already have, like the simple gear, because the more things you add on to this hobby, it's gonna become more hard to use and it's gonna be more tedious and you have to do this, that, and the other thing. Polar line, auto guiding, setup with PhD2. It's a lot of work. So I would definitely not recommend going straight into the auto guiding, dedicated astronomy cameras. Well, dedicated astronomy camera might be okay, but it just depends on, you know, if you're able to use a computer with your camera on and then all this other stuff you have to do with it, because it's a lot of work to learn new software. Now, I'm not saying don't like have a tracker. Like, a tracker is pretty necessary if you want to get like long exposures of the night sky. But what I am saying is you don't want to overinvest to the point where you feel overwhelmed and not wanting to do the hobby for a long period of time. Tip number 4, this is going to sound like kind of a weird one, especially if you don't have it near you. Go to a dark site. A dark site is really going to help with astrophotography in general, no matter what you're photographing, unless of course you're photographing the planets, like the brighter ones, Uranus and Neptune. You can easily photograph in a dark site compared to a light polluted site, but I'm mainly talking about deep sky objects in this video. So for deep sky objects, a dark sky site will really help. Like, I'm serious, I went to the Black Forest Star Party for the first time in my life, and it's a Boreal 2. Amazing. Really good clarity, really good contrast, really good, just everything is just so much better. There are no gradients to deal with. A dark sky site will make things so much easier to deal with in post-processing. It's just a dream come true to go to a dark sky site. I would definitely say if you're living in a light pollution zone, try to go to a dark site if you can for the first time and try to see if you can, well, not for the first time, like if you've tried out light pollution, if you notice you can't really fix those artifacts really easily and you're still new at it and kind of stuff like that. I definitely try to go to a dark site and see how that goes, because I think that would really help, because it really helped me as a newer astrophotographer when I went to a dark site. Tip number 5 is be very patient as a brand new astrophotographer. Astrophotography can take time. Here's an example. Well, guess what? This was when I first started astrophotography, and look how much farther I've gotten. This is where I am at almost currently. This is like a few months ago, but this is a very good image compared to this image, which was a total complete waste of time. But, well, not waste of time because it still helped me learn, but in my opinion, I didn't really like the image. Obviously, now I don't, but at the time, it was really good. So actually, in tip number 6, a bonus tip, try to enjoy your images while you can, because when you're new at the hobby, it tends to be more fun, and you enjoy the hobby, you're learning all the new things about it, and really try to enjoy those first images and be proud of them. Don't act like, oh, well, since my images isn't like this guy's images, well, my images obviously suck. No, you took those images. Those are your images. Those look amazing, because especially for how new you are. That's really good. Get that stuff in your head. Don't act like you have to be the best until, you know, you've had like 10 years in the hobby. you know, because I mean, there's a learning curve with everything. The same goes for everything. Every single hobby has a learning curve, including programming. I'm into programming. Definitely was a learning curve for me. So yeah, learning curve for every hobby. Oh, and by the way, my name is Asher, and I like making videos about astrophotography, space tips, all sorts of cool stuff. So if you'd like to watch more of those kind of videos, make sure to subscribe to stay up with my latest content. Oh, and by the way, if you're ever having doubts about your gear, well guess what? This video right here will show you exactly why a DSLR has a lot of potential over a dedicated astrophotography camera. I mean, it's not obviously better, but it still has a ton of potential. You can watch it right here. Anyways, until next time, clear skies.